This is Count Christo, and I did a weird campaign as the Soviets recently, which I wanted to share the conclusion of with you. I was in single player. So I played as the Soviet Union, and I had, historical focuses and stuff, but I decided I was only allowed to have tank divisions. So these are the divisions I've been using. I've just finished designing my modern tank division, which it looks like, in fact, is never going to get to see the light of day, which is very sad, because these 22-width light tank divisions are about to absolutely demolish Germany. So far in this war, we've taken 9,000 casualties. They've taken 2.4 million, and all I've done is held the Stalin line. I built forts. I held this line while I industrialized, because when they declared war, I had only enough for one division per province on the Stalin line, because tank divisions are expensive. So yeah, we do have 64 infantry divisions. That's because we conquered the Dutch really early on. So this is actually my state over here. We conquered the Dutch so we'd have enough rubber to produce our planes and things. But we don't actually have any of our divisions here. All of these divisions on the actual front are tanks. As you can see, we have some stupidly experienced tanks because I held Barcelona for the Republican Spanish for like 4 years, and I also won the war in China for China. This will get thrown back into the sea because China is at this point substantially stronger than Japan, because I just used like 8 tank divisions and rolled through here. But anyway, the reason I'm actually making this video is because if I just activate this battle plan, the entire Axis melts, and I think it's hilarious. So we have 80 we have 80,900 light tanks currently in the field, and we have full full mobile warfare doctrine, and we have air superiority pretty much. So let's just watch this happen. As soon as they're across the river, they just destroy them. So we started on what, like the 25th of October? Let's see how long this takes. And if you know me, you know that I hate using AI battle plans. They're really inefficient. But I just love how the entire Axis melts before this huge tank offensive. And it really doesn't take very long. I did console annex the AIs into the Axis because the number of divisions the Allies were pumping out was slowing the game down. And, I wasn't concerned about the actual threat posed by the Axis, so I thought I'd just annex all I did was tag switch to Germany and then annex the UK. So they just roll across, and the thing that makes this so devastating is that if you look for the little red overrun things popping up, it happens a lot. Like there was one. So we've already killed another 2 million Germans almost just from this ridiculous push. And there's absolutely nothing they can do to stop it. And note that we've only taken like 50,000 casualties. For an AI battle plan, retaking this much land, 50,000 casualties is not very many. I suppose if we wanted to kind of try and min-max it a bit, we could move some of these planes about. But I don't think it's particularly necessary, because we're gonna destroy them regardless. But why not? Let's move some of these planes into some appropriate spots. So yeah, this is the power of an entirely tank-based army, just cruising through the Axis. Are we going to hit 100,000 casualties? We may do. Liberation of Warsaw, glory be. Japan has not joined the war, of course, because they're still at war with China. Whenever I'm playing the Soviet Union, if you ever play the Soviet Union, you should always ensure that China wins against Japan, because it makes it much easier to win the Second World War, because you don't have to worry about your eastern flank. Whoops, what have I done? That's not what I intended. Some slight trouble. You can see when we hit rivers, we have some slight problems, because this tank division, they do not like the river crossings. They've got some pretty good defense crossing rivers, but if you look at the what's the example of the amphibious penalty here, yeah, they are suffering a 66% attack penalty. There goes Slovakia. Hungary soon to follow. Of course, if we min-max this, we could do it even faster. We could destroy them ludicrously quickly. But I just wanted to demonstrate how quickly the AI does it. The British Raj keeps asking to join our faction for some reason. I keep turning them down. I don't know why the British Raj is at war. Our production queue is quite entertaining. We have 100 factories on modern tanks. Let's make it 150. Running out of chromium, naturally, even though we're on closed economy. But yeah, for a long time I had 150 factories just producing light tanks, which is why I have such an absurd number of light tanks. But look at this. Look at this absolute stomp. They're often not piercing us. Sometimes they do, but most of their infantry divisions are not able to pierce these light tanks. Even though these light tanks only have, whatever it is, 18 armor. But yeah, this light tank division with its 550 breakthrough. There goes Yugoslavia. It's quite hard for them to stop. I was interested to see. I've run this before, but I was interested to see. Oh, we got our modern tanks ready. Yeah, let's get these guys on the front. Come over here, modern tanks. So the modern tanks are ridiculous. And these guys have 1,000 breakthrough, 500 soft attack, 350 soft attack, 78 armor. These guys will absolutely shred through the enemy lines, but really at this point we barely need them to. Yeah, it's assigning a lot of divisions down here. Let's see. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to see how the AI can handle it with zero interference. So what's it been so far? 4 months, and we've taken the Balkans, Romania. I mean, it's in the Balkans, but is Romania part of the Balkans? I think they are. Taken Germany and the Balkans in 4 months with no interaction from me. I know it's a really stupid way to play, but it's just quite fun, really. Just watching the tanks destroy their way across the German Reich. How many tanks have we lost so far? Wow, we've lost 20,000 light tanks in this offensive so far. We had 30,000 surplus when this started. That's quite high. We took 370,000 casualties. There goes Germany. Okay, it may now need some interaction from me because you're gonna need a front line. Gonna need a front line on these chaps here. There we go. But as soon as Italy capitulates, then that is GG. That will end the war. But yeah, that's how you defeat Germany as the Soviet Union. Build 110,000 light tanks. Keep plenty in reserve, and then just demolish them. Let's move some planes in. Why not? We haven't got very good planes. I didn't really upgrade my planes very much, but you know, I feel like it's going to be good enough, if I'm honest. Yeah, I was bored last night, so I just ran this ridiculous campaign with far too many tanks. So as you can see, it's just when they come to terrain, they get bogged down a bit, but when they're in open areas, they just absolutely storm through, as you'll see here in a second. We'll take this land in a very short period of time. But I've really enjoyed this. It was really good fun having these stupidly fast divisions that can just absolutely tear through anyone. If you're on aggressive, by the way, they will launch offensives from this line even if you don't put an attack plan on it, but less than if you put an attack plan on it. So let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, I recently came round to the idea that tanks are a really valuable part of this game, which I know it's to many of you it's blindingly obvious, but for a long time I really enjoyed and really thought it was kind of, because they're cheap and effective, I thought that maybe you could get away with just using infantry divisions, but the speed and the armor on tanks makes them incredibly valuable, as it turns out. And I know, and again, that's kind of obvious, but yeah, it took me a little while to get on this particular train. Oh, there they go. They're just romping through. Look at the speed at which they just romp through Iberia. It's insane. I did invent nukes because, you know, why not? I'm not sure why I had 100% ahead of time bonus for modern tanks. I actually don't know why that was. I never used mediums. We used light tanks for the whole war pretty much. I never built a heavy tank, but just because we needed cheap tanks. Because the look at that encirclement. Yeah, the AI pulls off really good encirclements when you give it a load of tanks, apparently, which is cool. With infantry, the AI will very rarely achieve decent encirclements, but with tanks, it absolutely will. So they're advancing out into Yugoslavia again. Not that that matters. You guys get yourselves over here. Let's take Italy and finish this thing. That took longer than last time, I think. I think last time I ran it, the Axis fell substantially quicker. Excuse me. But anyway, there you go. It's the power of 100,000 light tanks. Are we? Yeah, we're now officially into a deficit. Let's switch some of these back over to my light tanks. We're not really using many modern tanks, so I could assign a bunch more factories, but you know, it's not much point. Yeah, terrain definitely the stumbling block of my tanks. Look at that, modified to 23%. This terrain plus river crossing is kind of tough, but then as soon as they break it, these guys are going to absolutely power across and down, I have to imagine. Especially with those modern tank divisions in there, really bringing the hurt. And Rome has, wait for it, fallen. The Eternal City has fallen to advancing Soviet spearheads. Indeed it has. Awesome. There you go. There is the tank that has gloriously won us the day. But yeah, that was fun. Let me know, by the way, what other... I know I'm behind on... I should say this. I'm behind on Red Tide and Island Kaiserreich. They will both return. I have quite a lot of work at the moment. I have some... you know, I mean, for those of you that don't know, I'm in my third year of university, so I have lots of important essays and things which will contribute towards my final grade and all that kind of scary stuff. So usually after a day of doing that, I don't want to record like a proper serious campaign that I have to think about. I just want to do something stupid like build 110,000 light tanks as the Soviet Union. Would you just capitulate them, please? Go take the victory points. Attack it in earnest. It's funny how bad the AI is at the air war. Like, I had air supremacy on the starting line for the whole game. They didn't even try to take it away from me, which is weird. These guys are beginning to run out of equipment. Oh, hello. No coming back for you guys. These guys are actually beginning to run low on equipment, so... Oh, come on. They call in Japan at this point. It's just annoying. We could have got a peace deal. Oh well, doesn't matter. I already got a peace deal before I started recording, and before I went back to the save, but it's disappointing. Oh well. But yeah, there you go. The power of 100,000 Soviet light tanks. That push cost us 700,000 manpower. It cost them 3 and a bit million. So there you go. Oh, it's wacky. If you can think of any other stupid challenge runs that I could do put them in the comments. I'll give them a go. But there you go. The power of the Soviet Union's tanks. Nice watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.